Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another video on fixing mistakes. You guys are going to love this. Stick around. If you guys could subscribe, that would be a huge thing for us. Click that little bell icon because we got some really cool videos coming up that you guys won't want to miss. A few weeks ago, I did a video where we fixed some outset letters, fixed a mistake. The other day, I was actually talking with Carmen and I gave her a suggestion of a way to fix a mistake that I hadn't thought about before. Evidently, it worked well for Carmen, so I want to try it and show you guys what I discovered. So this is a brand new way to fix mistakes on outset letters.
What you're looking for when you carve outset letters is that you want the letters to be the natural wood color, and you're going to make a background that's going to be black or red or whatever color, but you want the letters to stand out. So in order to get that, you're going to use your profile bit and go around the letters while you're carving. Now for me, when I make mistakes, usually it's because I'm just not paying attention to what I'm doing. I just kind of get in a hurry, or I get in a bit of a rut and just start going, and I'm not really looking at what I'm carving. So that's something I recommend everybody, just pay attention to what you're doing. This is where the mistake happens. This is outset carving, and this is inset carving.
So now you got one of three choices. First choice, you can just chuck it. So second option is we can redo our layout. We could sand this off and then just put our outset letter right next to that groove and then respray it and then carve it that way. The problem with that is that makes a huge gap here, and I just can't live with the difference between this gap and these two. That just doesn't make a viable option for me. So the third option is actually put an insert in there, and that's similar to what we did on our previous video on fixing mistakes, but this time I'm going to use a completely different method. Here's the difference. On the last video where I did the mistakes, I actually cut a little piece, kind of customized a little rectangle piece to fit in an insert, but this time I'm actually going to use a 1-inch dowel. So I'm using an oak dowel. Now they make dowels in a lot of different types of materials. I picked this oak because I thought it was fairly close to the cherry that I'm using. So what you would want to do is try and match up a dowel that would match whatever type of material that you're using, or you can do it with stain so it doesn't have a big contrast. So because I'm making these outset, all of this is going to be taken away and it's going to be black. I'm going to probably insert this just in there so I can use my Forstner bit, make a perfectly round hole that this will set into, and then the only part that will really show on this outset will be this little piece of oak here, and I think it'll be a pretty good match. Now we got to insert that dowel into our hole that we just made with the Forstner bit. Now you can use regular wood glue. That's probably one of the things that I would do to fill up the gaps. But in this particular instance, just for speed, I'm going to use the Starbond and I'm going to use the thick gap filler, and I think it'll work perfect.
I think Dad's right that wood glue would be a better way to go, but the nice thing about using the Starbond is it has the accelerator, and this stuff was dried and ready to carve in about 5 minutes. To cut off all the extra dowel, we just used the samurai saw, and it did take a little bit of time because this is oak, but then we used the disc sander to make it nice and flat and get rid of any excess glue. Then all you have to do is lay out your last letter and spray it, and you don't have to worry about taping anything off because, again, once it's carved, you're going to spray it anyway. After all the profiling is done, then we just got to do the background. And for that, we use the 90-degree bit at about 3/16 of an inch deep. Now again, you really want to make sure that you're paying attention and you give yourself plenty of room around your letters so you don't nick them with that 90-degree bit. Otherwise, that's another mistake you're going to have to fix. Once it's all carved, then you just got to spray it with the primer. Make sure you get good coverage on the edge and in the background, but be careful not to overspray because you're going to have some bleeding if you do. Then we used our 60 grit disc on the disc sander to get the majority of the primer off, and went back with 120 on the random orbital to give it a good smooth finish and help it accept that clear coat really well. Now there's obviously a grain difference on the top of the A where the dowel is, but honestly, I think it looks kind of cool. And for anybody that's buying the sign, for all they know, it might just be a knot in the board.
So there it is, guys. That's the first time that I've done this type of insert, and I'm really happy with it. Again, obviously it didn't match up as well as it could have. The whole idea behind it, behind this method, definitely works. You know, if I'd had more time, I probably would have done it with regular wood glue, but that Starbond stuff held perfectly. It never even felt like it wanted to chip out. This could be a really neat way to mix grains and mix colors using a Forstner bit and different type of dowels. I think we could do some really cool stuff where we can mix that kind of stuff. Hope this was helpful, guys. Thanks again so much. If you have questions, let me know. Eric at makeawoodsign.com. We love you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.